This week on BWN News, we learn about Krista Steele Nudsline's murder and domestic violence in our community. We get an exclusive inside look at the closing of the Berkshire Mall in Lanesboro. We also visit the townhouses to take a look at some of RPS's plans to make repairs. And for this week's club feature, the newest club on campus, the Dad Club. That's coming up next on Beacon Web News. Hello and welcome to the January 31st episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Maggie Allen. A lot has happened while we were away, so let's get you caught up. But first, let's send it over to Victoria Weichel at BWN's Weather Center for a weather preview. What can we expect for the weather this week, Vic?
Thanks, Maggie. I hope everyone enjoyed the warm temperatures last weekend because winter is back and is back with a vengeance. But I'll have more on that shortly during this week's full 7-day weather forecast.
Thanks, Vic. It might be too cold to think about swimming right now, but come summertime, North Adams will hopefully be in the midst of constructing a splash park at the Noel Field complex. Bids on designing the next phase of the complex are due February 1st, with anticipation of awarding a contract by March. Director of the Office of Community Development, Michael Nuvali, told the Parks and Rec Commission that the goal is to have a splash park completed by June 2019. Are you a fan of Mass MoCA? Now's your chance to get in for free. Starting on Sunday, February 4th, 2018, Mass MoCA will be opening its doors for free admission to any North Adams resident. All you have to do is bring an ID to prove that you live in the 01247 zip code area. If you can't make it this date, don't worry. There's going to be on every 4th of the month until June. You have 5 different opportunities to take advantage of this: February 4th, March 4th, April 4th, May 4th, and lastly, June 4th. For more information, visit massmoca.org. Over winter break, North Adams lost a resident due to domestic violence. Krista Lee Steele Nudsline became the first domestic violence fatality and first known transgender murder nationwide in 2018. Beacon Web News' Karina Matera has the story.
As we know, a multi-pronged approach aimed to tackle the core components of domestic violence offers the best potential to decrease the rates of it and positively impact public safety.
Earlier this month, on January 5th, 2018, Mark Steele Nudsline reported to Adams Police that he had killed his wife, Krista Steele Nudsline. He walked into the Adams Police Station stating he did something very bad. Adams Police report states that he further explained he struck Krista in the back of the head numerous times with a hammer and then stuck a knife in her back. This was the result of the couple having an argument where Mark said he just snapped. Police arrived at their house to find Krista's body exactly where he said it would be. He wrapped her body up in a tarp and moved it to the basement. After his first appearance in court, Mark pled not guilty to 1 count of murder. He was denied bail and will return to the court in early February. Not only was this the first homicide in North Adams since 2013, but she was also the first trans person in 2018 in the entire country to be murdered.
I can say as a member of the LGBTQ community that I know that Krista was a active and beloved member of the community in North Adams and throughout Western Massachusetts.
Krista was very involved in the trans community. She advocated for trans women to be seen as beautiful and to allow them to have access to spaces they wouldn't normally have.
I didn't know Krista personally. However, I have close friends that knew Krista. So even if it wasn't a direct person-to-person interaction that I've had with her, the reverberations from her death went through our community and affected all of us. So even if I didn't know her, friends did. So we're seeing our friends grieve and grieving ourselves.
Krista was even the founder of the Miss Trans New England pageant. By friends, she was often described as being full of life and always smiling. This domestic violence case is the type that appears in almost every community, although trans women especially have higher rates of violence towards them.
Whether you're a trans woman, a trans man, or a gender nonconforming person, you weren't affirmed a lot of times as a child and a teen. So you're getting that as you're an adult. And it can lead to people being in relationships where they're getting validated, but that comes at a price. Where they're being validated, but it puts them in a vulnerable position.
Elizabeth Mitchell from the Elizabeth Freeman Center shows how big the domestic violence problem is in North Adams.
The Elizabeth Freeman Center in 2017 provided services to 418 clients in our North Adams office. Just one of our adult counselors in the North Adams office had 590 client contacts in 2017. That's how big the problem is in North Adams.
She goes on to explain what needs to happen to raise awareness.
At the table, because it's a difficult issue to talk about. There needs to be better collaboration. There needs to be better training. There needs to be better education, getting the word out to the community better. And I think that the City Council and the Mayor's office is the best way to do it.
Mayor Bernard is also for the idea of raising awareness for domestic violence.
I'm sympathetic to the idea of asking people who are doing that difficult work to also do the invisible work and the organizing work as well. So we're going to have a good conversation about how we tap into your knowledge, your experience, your resources, and how we use the city in the appropriate way to partner with you.
If you or anyone you know is facing abuse, remember, help is always available. The Elizabeth Freeman Center has resources for Berkshire County, such as available safe shelter, legal advocacy, and more for someone in an abusive situation. The Trans Lifeline for the organization can be reached by calling 877-565-8860. The Elizabeth Freeman Hotline is also available and can be reached at 866-401-2425. Domestic violence is a real thing, and trans individuals often are faced with disproportionate amounts of violent experiences.
There's going to be a protest outside the North Adams courthouse where the accused murderer would have been arraigned. However, it's been moved to a different day and time. The protest is still going to happen. It's going to begin from 9 to noon on February 7th.
Thank you, Karina. North Adams has a new mayor. On January 1st, Thomas Bernard was sworn in as the mayor of Tunnel City. Bernard, a Williams College graduate and former MOCA and MCLA staffer, beat Bob Moulton. Mayor Bernard gave a 12-minute address in front of the city workers, families, and friends. The ceremony was live and casted on NBC-TC. The Williamstown Board of Selectmen voted 4-1 to send a State Department of Public Health a letter of non-opposition that would clear the way for Silver Therapeutics to proceed with the licensing of medical marijuana dispensary on Main Street. More stores are set to close the Berkshire Mall in Lanesboro. The mall is set to lose another anchor store, Sears, who closed on January 28th. The mall had just lost American Eagle Outfitters store as well. Last year, the mall lost 4 stores and 2 others in 2015. The mall was sold to a New York investment firm, Cohen Retail Investment Group of Great Neck, New York, in 2016, with hope of revitalization. The mall recently hasn't been involved in legal disputes involving plowing and failure to pay taxes on time. Are you a fan of folk music? The Whiskey Treaty Roadshow, known for their nationally acclaimed short music documentary, will be at 1130 Church Street on February 1st. They are a collaborative band with 5-part lyrical styling to folk music. Supporting acts include Indigo Girls, the Fleece Brothers, the Adam Ezra Group, Dear Tick, and the Novel Ideas. The show begins at 7 and is $5 for students and $10 for general admission with a service fee. Tickets are available online at brownpapertickets.com. If you are a fan of fresh fruits and veggies, be sure to stop by at North Adams Farmers Market at 87 Main Street. It starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 1 p.m. and is free to attend. Happens the first of every month until the weather gets warmer. EBT, debit, and credit card are accepted. End the Fear, Brave the Bullying is a self-defense class that is being offered to all ages on Friday, March 6th through the 9th at the Cutting Edge Martial Arts Fitness Center. It will be providing self-defense methods to anyone of age. The session will include the practice of how to use proper words and actions when combating bullying. The event will be from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. and admission will be $25. For more information on the event, contact Amy Sinapoli on Facebook. Thunderfest 2018 will be back on Saturday, February 24th from noon to 5. The event will have food provided by local vendors and will also be welcoming new restaurants to the annual Chowder Fest. Crafted brews and wine will be on tap. The Scenic Railway Museum will be recreating their snow trains, and live music will be part of the eventful day. The festival fee admission is free admission and will take place at the Adams Visiting Center. For more information, visit the Thunderfest 2018 on Facebook. CJ Field will be performing in Masmoka on Saturday, March 3rd at 8 o'clock. The edgy artist will sing some of his most spirited songs and chart-topping songs. Admission will be $5 for students, $10 for any member who chooses to pay in advance, and $16 at the door. For any concerts at Masmoka, make sure you visit massmoka.org. MCLA was awarded the 2017 Leading by Example Award from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for outstanding energy and environmental efforts in the public higher education category. Over the past decade, MCLA's Clean Energy Initiative has resulted in a 19% reduction rate in campus greenhouse gas emissions, despite the 14% growth of campus square footage. The flagged townhouses are made for upperclassmen on campus where they can have apartment-style living. Sounds great, doesn't it? Well, not for all. BWN's Karen Canella reached out to students who have been struggling with unrepaired issues in their apartment and other ongoing issues on campus.
The first week back from break is always a difficult time to come back and adjust. These adjustments are made harder when the only people who can help fix the recurring issues happening in your own dorm are not helping at all. Let's hear from some of our students who face this problem. With a new year comes new problems. Students were allowed to file hot water and heat in their townhouse apartments for months, while some apartments were flooded, forcing other residents to leave their homes. The campus center stairs has been blocked off, causing confusion for students who are unsure about the sudden decision that was made from the school. Junior Lawrence Wilson tells us about some of the issues he's been facing in his townhouse and the response he got from the school.
We haven't had hot water at all last semester.
Wilson also describes the water and heat temperatures he and his housemates have been forced to live with.
Freezing cold showers. Freezing cold showers. Our bathwater was lukewarm. It's cold downstairs too.
Sophomore Sebastian Phillips explains how having hot water in the townhouse apartment only lasted minutes.
Sometimes at most we'd get like an interval of like 1 minute of hot water and then it'd get colder.
Phillips also describes the color of the hot water.
First it was brown. I don't know why it was brown.
Lawrence Wilson expresses his anger towards the school's lack of effort to fix the problems happening in his townhouse.
We've been putting a request for months. We've talked to our RA, RD, Diane Manning, maintenance. They've always had to reschedule or claimed it was fixed.
Sebastian Phillip also tells us how RPS rescheduled but never returned to fix the issues.
They said that they were going to reschedule and figure it out, but they didn't.
Phillips says he and his housemates are not the only students facing the same problems, but that he's heard other students complaining about similar issues.
All the townhouses that I've seen have their different things. Some houses just the heat doesn't work. Sometimes it works too much.
Lawrence Wilson says RPS was very unhelpful and only listened to their complaints once the issues were presented to President James Burge.
Very unhelpful. Like I said, we've been putting in requests for months and months and months and months, and we were told that we only put in one. So, I mean, once our townhouse mates started calling the president's office, that's when we finally got a response. That's when they finally fixed it, when we brought it to a higher level.
Samantha Schwanter tells us she feels that RPS has not been responsive to her students.
Through the experiences with my townhouse mates and all of the experiences we've had with Diane and RPS, it's just very frustrating, and it feels almost like RPS as a whole isn't really listening to the student body. They're not responding to requests or questions the way I would hope they would.
We contacted Diane Manning, director of the residential programs, and asked her questions in regards to this matter. Manning, who did not feel comfortable speaking on camera, responded saying, "Facilities takes care of repairs. I take care of everything about notifying the students and making sure the students' concerns are being protected. As for incidents in the townhouse, I think it's a matter of when it's being reported. I encourage students to contact the RPS office directly if the issue hasn't been rectified. I think that you can be sure that when something is fixed, something else will surely break." While the townhouses have been one of the biggest issues on campus, the Campus Center Sears has been a topic of interest when the school suddenly closed it off. We asked students how they felt on this issue, and students replied,
"It causes a lot of inconvenience because if I have a class in Bowman, I either have to go through the campus center and down the stairs or the long way around campus.
It takes me longer to get to the cafeteria, and also I can't go to Murdoch this way.
It is kind of annoying having to find a different route to go to different places.
Students also believe MCLA has not been communicating effectively with students, stating,
I don't think MCLA has been communicating well with the students about the issues like this going on.
They really need to get better at communicating and telling the students what specifically is wrong instead of just having signs up.
We reached out to Robert Fortini, head of maintenance facility, who did not respond back to us on this matter. Student residents believe that RPS is not making the effort to communicate with them effectively and that they should be making changes. For Beacon Web News, I'm Karen Canella.
The Student Government Association is now holding the chance for you to be nominated as a student senator. General responsibilities include the representing of your student population on SGA, attending all of SGA's meetings, serve on a minimum of 2 college or SGA committees, and hold at least 1 office hour every week, and maintain a cumulative GPA of 2.3. If this sounds like something that interests you, feel free to pick up a nomination paper in the Campus Center on the top floor in room 316. The Identity and Gender Equality Resource Center will be hosting a Safe Zone workshop on Wednesday, February 7th at 5 p.m. in Murdoch 218. The workshop is open to all students, faculty, and staff as part of a continuous effort to promote inclusiveness at MCLA. For more information, email igeresourcecenter@mcla.edu. Now let's head over to BWN's Weather Center, where Victoria has our 7-day forecast to see what's in store for this week. Victoria?
Hi, I'm Victoria Weichel for this week's full 7-day weather forecast. On Thursday, the high will be 40, which may sound good at first, but during the day, the temperatures are expected to drop down to 16 degrees, and there's a high chance that we could see snow. Temperatures will continue to drop down to Friday to the point where we could see a low temperature of 1 degree. Temperatures will increase slightly throughout the weekend. Only on Sunday, we could see a couple of inches of snow. Monday will still be chilly as the low temperatures will be 3 degrees. And finally, Wednesday, the snow will return one last time with a low temperature of 31 degrees. For Beacon Web News, I'm Victoria Weichel.
Thanks, Vic. MCLA has many diverse clubs for students to be involved in. BWN's Andrew Strout introduces the newest club on campus, the Dad Club.
Students who enjoy certain activities like mowing the lawn or grilling steaks have found their new home in MCLA's Dad Club. The Dad Club is one of the newest clubs formed at MCLA. They put on dad-themed events for their members, like a Hawaiian shirt contest and a craft root beer festival. Dominique Stevenson Pope talked about how the club was formed.
Joking around about throwing the old pigskin around because I was in the rugby club, and I said that sounds like such a dad thing to say, and they said, well, then we should start a club.
Club meetings offer a relaxing environment for members. The club hopes to become more serious in the eyes of the community and wants to help out children who don't have dads of their own.
We have had the idea of inviting actual fathers from the community, so either facility members that are dads, even members of the club's fathers as well if they want to, and give like dad talks, kind of like a TED Talk, but just like how it's like being a dad.
Many dad accessories can be found in the campus bookstore for those who want to up their dad game.
The current e-board is Alex Ershand, who is the president, also known as Dad Supreme. I, Dominique Stevenson Pope, am the vice president, also known as Bob Saget. We have Lee Mitchell, who is our secretary, known as Mom Dad. And then we have Alex Gasper, who is our treasurer, which is known as Sugar Daddy.
To keep up with the Dad Club and all of their events, join the Rad Dads of MCLA Facebook page and get ready to toss around the pigskin with your old man. Dad Club meets every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. in Bowman Room 205. Dad or not, anyone is welcome to join. From Beacon Web News, I'm Andrew Strout.
Wow, Andrew, those dads are pretty rad. Is television and film your thing? Do you just happen to be interested in a club with both of these? Then Television and Film Society is perfect for you. This semester they will be working on a film project called Griffin. General meetings will be held on Mondays at 8 p.m. in Bowman 208, and filming will occur on the weekends. If you have any questions, contact Kyle Mayberry on Office 365 at kn4206@mcla.edu. As for MCLA athletics, come out and support our teams tonight as the MCLA women's and men's basketball team take on the Bridgewater State Bears in a MASCAC tournament game. The women will play at 5:30 p.m. and the men will play at 7:30 p.m. That's it for this week's episode. To stay up to date with all things BWN, you can follow us on social media. As always, thank you for watching. I'm Maggie Allen, and we'll see you next week.